Basketball fans, today on the Hangout, we check in with Carmelo Anthony, Phil Jackson, and the drama in New York over the triangle. Also, your Toronto Raptors were on the floor at the Air Canada Center doing battle with their rival, the Brooklyn Nets. Did they get back in the win column? We'll tell you. Also, we go big game hunting across the NBA with Steph Curry. This is the Hangout. Basketball fans, welcome into the Air Canada Center and your home for Talking Hoops, Canada's favorite basketball show. This is the Hangout. I am Akil Augustine, and as always, we take three of our favorite basketball minds and talk about some of your favorite basketball topics. We start with the producer of the Toronto Raptors broadcast and also a huge Ironhead fan. I have no idea what Ironhead is, but I imagine it's good because you represent it so well. Dan Gladman, shouts out.
Great to be here. Shouts out to Ironhead and to my man, Akil.
All right, we got Donovan Bennett, of course, longtime member of the Sid and Tim Show. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and Mr. Handle Life, Dribble Too Much. Thank you for coming out and repping. Of course, you've worked with some of the NBA's finest, Nate Robinson, Kevin Durant, and our own DeMar DeRozan. So thank you so much for coming out and showing us some love.
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. So it's time we get into it, of course, on this show. We go big game hunting early and often, some of the biggest games in the NBA. The biggest one was the Golden State Warriors against the Mavericks, 128-114 the final score. I see Steph Curry and Klay Thompson getting their all-star jerseys. The Mavericks were hot early, though. They took it to the Warriors in the first quarter, but Steph Curry was way too much. As you see Mr. Parsons going airborne, he was 10 for 16 from three. We're not talking Parsons, we're talking Steph Curry, 50-plus point night. And also, can I shout out Steph Curry's third quarter, 27 in the third quarter, doing his best Klay Thompson impersonation, firing shots from all over. That kid can handle, can't he handle life?
Yes, he can handle life and get the shot off.
All right, so there you see it right there. The Golden State Warriors take out the Dallas Mavericks, of course. So I want to get into this. The Warriors team, I kind of gave them a hard time. Dan Gladman knows this. I wasn't much of a believer in this Warriors team at the beginning of the year. I didn't think Steve Kerr would take them as far as he's taken them, along with Steph Curry. Is this a 60-win team right now, Dan Gladman? Your squad, the Golden State Warriors, do you think 60 is a reasonable number, looking at the 38 wins at this point?
Absolutely. It's a very reasonable. Nobody can beat them. They lose two in a row, and everybody goes crazy, and they refocus, and they start beating everybody again. They have a system. They have unbelievable shooters and offense. They play great defense. I think they're going to win 60 easily. I mean, they might even get to 65 the way they're going. They'll have home court throughout the playoffs. No problem.
Donovan Bennett, is 60 a reasonable number?
I mean, I think so. When they lost those two in a row, it's like they were bored at that point, to be honest. I mean, if you tell me how many games Bogut plays, that's going to give you a better gauge on how many games they're going to win. But when you're down against a real team in the Mavericks by 22 in the first quarter, nobody at Oracle leaves, and you win going away, you're for real.
All right, Handle Life. Now, here's the thing that kind of piques my interest about this team. I mean, their starters average about 29.9 minutes per game. So it's depth, really, that's helping this team. But do you think they're one of those special teams? Because, I mean, I'm only thinking of that Jordan team with the 70 wins,
Yes.
right? Like, are they that special they could inch towards that number?
They're very special. You know, they play together. They all play like a family, and there's nobody that has the egos on the court, so they share the ball very well. And it's like they're playing a lot of heavy minutes. The main guys, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, but it's not like they're going in there pounding their joints and jumping from the free throw line. They're just shooting threes, actually, and making it. So they better get a hand up in the playoff, or it's going to be a long run for them.
Okay, that's what I want to talk about, the other side of the ball. Like, we always talk with the Warriors about how efficient they are offensively and how special and amazing they are. But do they have enough defensively, especially with Bogut averaging around 20 points per game, and you're not sure if he's going to be there to be the rim protector they need? Do they have enough defensively, Donovan Bennett, to get it done in the playoffs?
I mean, get it done is relative because, yes, they got to get stops, but you got to stop them on the other end.
Yeah.
And I think so. I think, Kerr is a smart coach, was trained not just by Phil but by Popovich. He has sets that he's using his guys the way they should be used. And listen, he could be in New York right now. He made the smart choice and went to Oakland. I think he's going to make smart choices down the stretch with a week and a half to prepare for teams where they can get stops when they need them.
All right, Dan, how deep can this team go? Well, and are you buying their defensive capabilities?
I'm buying their capabilities, but the Western Conference is a minefield in the playoffs.
Yes.
And a lot of it's going to depend on what matchup they get right off the bat. I mean, right now you're probably looking at Phoenix, which would pose some challenges for them with Phoenix's speedy point guards. It's going to be hard for them to guard them. But what if Oklahoma City puts it together and gets to that 8 spot? A lot of it is going to have to do with who they play. They don't have a ton of playoff experience. Kerr has none as a coach. So
He had no regular season experience as a coach.
That's true, but playoffs, a whole different ballgame. I still need to see at least 1 year in the playoffs, this team as assembled. The regular season, they're dominating, and they're going to continue to dominate. Things are going to change for them in the playoffs.
All right, Hand of Life, let's get into some point guard talk, because, that's your specialty, right?
Okay.
Putting the ball on the floor. Rajon Rondo, arguably one of the best point guards in this league at one point, probably thought of to be the best young point guard when he played with the Celtics and KG and those guys. Did you think he would have a bigger impact going to Dallas, just looking at the record and what they've been able to do since he got there? Do you think that team would have, do you think they should have played better since he's been acquired, because they've got pieces around him?
Yeah, they have a lot of pieces around him. He went there and adjusted immediately. If you could put the ball on the floor and you got pieces around you, it's just heaven for you, man. It's going to make your job easy.
Do you think this team could go deep? Are you giving Dallas a chance?
Yeah, I'm giving Dallas a chance. I'm getting with the experience and the experience from the owner and from the coach and from Dirk Nowitzki being the leader and a couple of guys who've been there before, and Rajon also is an additional piece who's been there before. I'm giving them a chance with the experience they got.
All right, Rondo, guys?
I don't know if Rondo really makes that much of a difference. I would argue that he's not one of the best point guards.
Now you would, but back when he was on
even
the
then,
Celtics.
he had here Garnett, here Pierce, here Ray
Oh,
Allen.
man.
You or I
Revisionist
would have had,
history.
we
He
would have
has
had
that
5
now,
to 7
though. He
assists
has that
tonight
here
too.
now.
The thing in that West is, and because you're talking about Dallas, you can take 7 teams in the West and say they could go to the conference finals. Rondo, is he the difference maker? I think Dallas was already at that level where they can get to the West Finals. Monte Ellis is having an incredible year, and you barely even hear about it because it's so stacked out there. But Rondo, he's so enigmatic. He's so mysterious. You just don't really know until we start seeing them in the playoffs.
Quickly, we got about 15 seconds before we go to break. Donovan, you buying it?
No, I don't believe you. You need more people. They're one of the most efficient offensive teams.
Hey, I got to shut it down on the
rap.
references right there. Donovan Bennett shutting down the show. Listen, when we come back, we got to talk about the hometown Toronto Raptors on the court against the Nets. Hangout coming up after the break.